Struggling a little bit with my makeup look this week. Just woke up from a bender and have 5 minutes to get to work. But we're gonna rock it anyway. Hello, hi. I am extremely excited for this topic that we're gonna talk about. I know that my topics lately have been really heavy. All I can say about that is just that it's what needs to come through. I just trust that the inspiration I have is to the highest good of everybody that's listening, that's benefiting from what I have to say. So a lot of it coincides with the world is in chaotic chaos right now. I think a lot of people don't know what to do. They don't know if they're on the right side of safety. They don't know if they're on the right side of survival at this point. A lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty and apprehension. No matter what you believe, no matter where you are on the spectrum at times like this, either you believe in God, that he's kind of a big, strong, burly guy with a beard, kind of chucking thunderbolts off a mountaintop and has a big book of everything. And if you do believe in God of that nature, then now is the time to start trusting his plan, trusting his guidance, trusting his wisdom as the infinite creator. If two, you believe that there is a higher power, but maybe not that big burly guy, that it's more like universal wisdom and positive energy from karma or whatever, then now is the time for you to trust that wisdom and tap into it as best you can and trust it. Or if three, you believe that there really isn't any higher power, we're just here bumbling around, just kind of smacking into each other, and then we lay down in the ground when we're done, and then that's it, then you have no choice but to believe in yourself, to trust that you will know what to do and how to do it, that because you're here on your own, we're all here on our own, it's our time to shine, basically. Or maybe you believe something closer to how I believe, which is it's all of the above. I know. We are God force in a body. We are a big old meat puppet full of magic until we can really fully harness our power. But I believe we're on our way, believe it or not, even though it seems bleak and grim. How do we bridge that gap? How do we bridge from being humans with our limitations and our neuroses and our all of that to being in balance with our power and understanding and being on a higher plane, on a different level? For me and a lot of other people, but mainly me, because we're talking, it's faux pots, it's me. Angels. I know, at this point, you're like, okay, bitch. How did you go from parenting tips to paranormal shit? But hear me out. If you're listening to this right now, that means that the title intrigued you, or that somewhere along the line you have had signs within your life that maybe there's some credence to angels. So that means just sit tight and see what I have to say. I have none to lose. I was told from a young age that angels are with me. They are protecting me. They are guiding me. They're basically standing right here and are here to help me. Maybe it's because of that, but for whatever reason, I have always been extremely fascinated and extremely into angels and angel lore and having a connection to them. And I have been thoroughly enriched by it all. Believe it or not, angels are 100% real. And you don't have to be a religious person. They're not what the common thought about angels is that they're, in white robes and playing harps and horns and saying, doth he hath thine, I think that was just how they had to appear back in the day so that people didn't run screaming, because that was kind of a way for them to present themselves in a non-threatening way. They're actually more like just a big pillar of positive energy that move into your energy field when you need them, for whatever you need them for. You have to ask them. That's the only catch, is they are not allowed to intervene into your life without your invitation. I actually wrote a screenplay, I've mentioned that before, and my screenplay is centered around angels. Kind of a tribute to the deep connection that I feel, and it's a love letter to all the ways that I have received benefits from not just believing in angels, but being thankful for them, very vocally thankful, and my bacon being saved a million times. And it's because I asked for angelic help, for otherworldly help. And I know that sounds crazy, but A little while back, the government completely owned up to aliens being, like, we've had interaction with alien beings, even though they're claiming they don't know what they are and they don't know, they don't know. I was excited when I heard it just because it's more of a societal check mark on something that I've already known. I've had plenty of alien experiences too. That'll be a video for another day. But we pretty much have confirmation saying, yeah, they're real and they hang out. If that's true, then how far of a jump is it to consider angels real too? You can research any topic about the theories and beliefs and the evidence that science, quantum physics, is finding out that we are vibration, we are energy. Like I mentioned before, we're, a magical meat puppet. Science is just now catching up to spiritual ideas, kind of bridging the gap. It's actually a really exciting time, in my opinion, to be alive and to have a chance to pick what path that you want from here on out. You can do your own research. I could provide links and stuff like that, but in my experience, your intention about it is what will really benefit you the most. And I know there's a huge crop of people that just think all of it is bullshit, and that's fine. They don't have to believe any of it. You don't have to believe anything that I'm saying. But at this point, what do we have to lose? Like at this point, it makes a lot more sense to believe and to try to forge a new path than to continue down the road that we've been on and kind of trip and fall and stumble over our own lack of belief. I personally have a million billion examples of angelic intervention in my life because I asked for it or because I pre-paved the road. I do that a lot. It's like the difference between calling and making a reservation for a restaurant or just showing up and hoping for the best. This is the example that I will give. And this happened yesterday. As I was getting on the freeway, I just felt my intuition kind of poke me a little bit and go, I was like, all right, and I said, all right, angels, be with me. We're on the freeway, stay with us, keep us safe. So we just kept cruising along. And then about 5 minutes later, a car swerved so far and so quickly into my lane that I should have completely been knocked and spun around on the freeway. What happened was, as me and my 3 daughters reacted to someone coming over so quickly into my lane, I was already slowing down and kind of dovetailing with them. I had no reaction time, but instead of, it was a beautiful just kind of, and then we were right back where we were. We were all shaky and a little wigged out, but we were fine. No scratches, no fender bender, no nothing. So you tell me, does that sound like a plausible thing in this day and age? And if you've ever traveled on a 5-lane freeway, does that sound like something that happens very often? Not really, not unless, you know what I mean? I don't always ask for help in big ways. Anxiety, it helps with depressive thoughts, feeling depressed. It helps with physical ailments, protection, as I just illustrated, and just comfort. I have talked about before my energetic sensitivity, and sometimes when I'm out and about these days, I get super jammed up with anxiety. My heart starts kind of palpitating and I don't know what's happening and I get kind of, it's almost like an anxiety attack. But again, I ask my angels, okay, just sit with me for a second, just help me to calm down and get my shit under control. And every time I'm able to do that. It doesn't really matter how you ask. I like to be polite because it's a huge service that I'm receiving that is extremely helpful to me. So I'm just polite to everyone in that way. I say please and thank you, even at the drive-thru, and especially to a celestial body that's bailing me out. That's pretty big, and so yeah, I'm gonna be polite. I say, angels, please be with me right now. Please protect me. Please keep me safe. Fill in the blank, whatever it is. Please soothe me. Please just sit with me. Just help me right now. Sometimes it's just, I just need help right now. And they know what that means. And sometimes if it's a physical ailment, I will drop into kind of like a meditative state for a second. And I think that they give me just like a little reset. So that's what happens when you meditate. You just free up your mind from thoughts and your natural vibration just kind of raises back up. It sounds nuts, huh? But I would not be here on this earth still if it weren't for these types of things. So take that for what you will. New age or spiritual or metaphysical or whatever subjects. I know it's easy to shut them down with facts and science and logic and, you know, all that stuff. Although I'm a big fan of all of those things, I don't know why they can't coexist. People are apt to believe something that's written down on a sheet of paper from an expert, but in their own life, when they get a certain intuitive feeling or when they have a premonition of some kind, they dismiss it. And I think we're programmed with that from an early age. That's the battle that we're going to have to fight, I think. The biggest one in the years to come, in the times that we are living in, is we have to stop giving our power away. We have a choice. We can either choose to go down the road that we've been going down, where we are just kind of a lifeless heap of organic matter that has limitations and is just kind of, it's bleak, you know, or we can choose to follow the inklings that we have, follow the intuition that we have, and kind of push past what is and what we know to have always been, become what we are fully capable of becoming, be who we are fully capable of being. We can forge a new path that is at least just new to our scope of reality. It's been here, it'll be here, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, but that's something to think about. If you believe that someone can have a terminal illness and then turn on a dime and say, no, I don't have that anymore, get better and be completely free of that illness, there's plenty of examples of that. If you can believe in that, if you can accept that as a reality, it's the exact same mental fortitude and command of yourself and your faculties, your physical apparatus, your body, all of the resources that you have as a human, as the person that you are in this body. It's the exact same thing, just pointed in more of like a tuning fork way. Instead of it being a very specific point on a map, it's just a general focus on well-being and prosperity, trusting yourself and being one with yourself, and not letting external forces be the deciding factor in the value of your life. And that's actually all a witch is, by the way. People think witches are like scary and evil and stuff. A witch is just someone who follows their own internal guidance as opposed to outside external forces. So I can see how maybe back in the day, back in the Salem witch trials, if you were a witch, it was a horrible thing because they needed conformity. Sounds familiar. That's a bit off topic, but what I mean is things that are unseen but innately known are just as real and just as meaningful as things that are here and now that you can see and touch and taste and feel, in my opinion. And that is a huge part of being a human that is very much overlooked. And again, if I was a betting woman, I'd bet that was no accident. Because if you're empowered, you are less controllable. Like angels are kind of like a spotter. We're meant to be going through life and gaining strength through our experiences, right? But if we get a little too heavy, you have a spotter there to make sure that you don't hurt yourself, that things don't get worse. It doesn't mean that you can't handle what's going on. You just have at your disposal someone that can help you when you need it. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. Just outside of asking them for help, there are a few little parameters that really help. It took me a while to kind of discover this. It's an individual thing, so it might not apply to you, but just in general, you will be held lovingly, but you will be held by your own intentions. So if your intention is to connect with your angels, connect with your higher self, connect with those unseen things, and then you doubt it, or you're afraid of it, or you are dismissive of it, then there really isn't a point to having that intention in the first place. What you seek from the interaction is what will be presented to you. I was meditating one time, there's another little example, and I just asked for a little, I was like, oh, just give me a little, just let me know that you're here with me right now. And I heard a sound that was like It wasn't like close to me sound, but I was sitting on my porch kind of out in the night air. It sounded like a ruffling, feathers ruffling or papers ruffling just a little bit. And I knew what that was. It wasn't dramatic, a huge burst of flames and sparks and you know, the voice of God shouting at me. It was so subtle, but it was like, yeah, okay. And that's what I'm talking about. If you're looking for something spectacular and sensational that you can, you know, record with your phone and then be the next viral sensation, like, it's not going to work out like that for you. If your intention is just to strengthen yourself and rely on the resources that you have as a spiritual being, then you will be so stoked and you will have so many wonderful, wonderful interactions. Who doesn't want a wonderful high five from something you can't see, but you know is there? Like, it's so cool. Just something to remember. Angels aren't judging you. They're not impatient. They are with you from the day that you are born, whether you believe in them or not, whether you subscribe to the idea of them or want to be a part of their, you know, what they have to offer. They're still there eternally. Because we're eternal beings. Energy doesn't disappear, it just reforms. Another thing to keep in mind, you don't have to tell anybody. It can be your secret with your guides, with your angels. Like, you don't have to tell anybody. Haters will come out of the woodwork and try to shoot down an idea that they don't understand. And I'm sure I open myself to that type of interaction as well, which is fine. I don't mind, because it's such a beneficial thing that I don't mind taking a hit here and there if I have to, in order to express something that's really, really, really helpful, especially at times like this. But you don't have to tell anybody about it. You can keep it to yourself for as long as you want to. It can just be your own thing. You don't have to tell anybody ever. You don't have to tell anybody anything ever. I don't know where in society we like verbal diarrhea doesn't. You don't have to do that. So like I mentioned before, and just remember, it can be little things. You don't have to just jump off the deep end and, you know, need a broken leg healed. Like that's that may be too much of a quantum leap. You can start small. If you've lost your keys, just say, "Hey, angels, can you help me find my keys?" And then just chill for a second. You'll be shown where they are in no uncertain terms. And sometimes you have to kind of go on a little goose chase. Sometimes you'll say, "Okay, you know, can you help me find my keys?" And then you have a kind of a sensation or an impression to go to the bathroom. You're like, "Well, I need to find my keys. I need to go to work, but okay, I'll go to the bathroom." And then they're there underneath, you know, like underneath the towel. Whatever you receive, just follow it. Keep your eyes open, continue down the path and see what develops. Don't just, you know, get frustrated and angry with them if you don't. Like, they're not the genie from Aladdin, but they do yield some pretty rad results. And I always say thank you. That's another big one. I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Yesterday, when we were on the road and we almost got in a wreck, like, that's a big thank you. It's a big thank you. And I had the forethought, the intuition that I followed to ask for them to just keep a wing on us, you know what I mean? But I know I could not have reacted that fast. There's no way. But I did. Somehow I did. Because I know that they helped me. I say thank you all the time. I say thank you even if I haven't asked for anything particularly. I'll just say thank you. And that I love them. Like, thank you, angels, I love you. But that's just how I feel. That's what I say to my daughters. That's what I say, you know, like anything that has a deep connection and a deep resonance in my life, I say thank you and I express my gratitude and my love for it. Like, you have to. Why are we here otherwise? And like I said before, if you're here right now, that's not for no reason. So whatever you do with this information, however it hits you, follow your intuition about it. If you want to do more research, by research, I mean just close your eyes and ask for a sign, a very clear and very specific sign, and then just wait to receive it, and you 100% will. Just have fun with it. Be easy about it, you know, like it's a fun, easy thing that you can spend time doing instead of wringing your hands and worrying about the fall of mankind. You know, use your energy for positive stuff and you will see benefits from that in all areas of your life, not just with interaction with angels or anything like that. Was it Van Wilder? In the movie Van Wilder, he says, you know, worrying's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, doesn't get you anywhere. Jot that down. I feel the same way, you know. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You have no control over it. That's the truth, you know? So what you do have control over is yourself. and what you do with your day and how you spend your time on this earth. And I can guarantee you guys, we're going somewhere with this, okay? We're gonna be okay. Above all else, just remember, we're gonna get through this. Maybe not every single person that's on the earth right now will be here 5 years from now, but that's true all the time, whether there's heightened circumstances or not. So trust that their path is their path, trust that your path is your path, and that there is infinite. There's a big old hawk. I just saw a big hawk. It perched right there on the tree. That's so cool. Hawks are good at omens. That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, it's just perched right there on the tree. So cool. Yeah. Just remember, just think about this, okay? And just try to take this with you, if nothing else. If you think angels are bullshit or whatever, just remember, like, we're gonna be okay. Humans are incredibly resilient. We're kind of like cockroaches, we find a way. That sounded horrible. I didn't mean to liken the human kind of cockroaches, but in a way we are. We're adaptive. We find a way, right? So I offer you that maybe the whole end of days thing, maybe it's not the end of days, end of story. Maybe it's the end of the days where we were conditioned to be way less than what we are really capable of doing or seeing or having or becoming. So if you think of it that way, this is actually an exciting time. I know we're all stressed to the max, but it's okay. Just let it roll as much as you can. Ask your angels to help you with the anxiety. Soothe yourself. Try to focus on good things. I know it sounds nuts, but there's at least one good thing in your day that you can focus on. I know there is. That's even something you could ask your angel to do, is provide a positive thing to dwell upon, and they'll help you. So let me know, but tell me your stories. I love them. I love hearing about metaphysical stuff. It's probably metaphysical things and art. Those are the two things that really get me all fired up. So let me know down below in the comments if you wanna. What are some of your experiences? Have you had experiences? Would you like to have experiences? Do you think it's a bunch of malarkey? Just tell me. I love hearing from people. If you feel like this will resonate with someone else, please share. Like, subscribe, hit the notificationer. I will speak to you soon. Have a wonderful day.